Hi Detroit Prep Artists, it's Miss Jillian here. I'm here today to walk you through two worksheets. One is color, trace, and draw shapes. And our second worksheet is trace, then draw shapes. I'm going to show you how to do the first row on this one, and I'm going to show you how to do our circle on this one, and the rest you can do yourself. The first thing we're going to do is write our name, where it says AIM, right here with this long line afterwards. I'm going to put that on both of my papers so I don't forget. Now, you will need, for this paper you can do with a pencil, you can do with any kind of drawing or coloring tool you want. For this one, you are probably going to want something to color with because we're going to be coloring in our shapes first. And then if you want to use a pencil or if you want to stick with your same tool, you can. I'm going to use marker on this, and I'm going to start out by coloring in my square. So the first thing on our color, trace, draw shapes worksheet is to color in. And I have a marker that's a little bit fancy, but the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the edge of my shape with color. So I'm just going right inside of the lines for my square, and I'm trying to fill that in with color. So now I have a little bit more space to color in without going over my lines. And I went over my lines a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to smooth my paper this way so I can see better and fix it. Now my lines are not perfect, but doing the best we can, and this is just practice. So if you go outside of the little lines a little bit, that's okay. All right, so I've colored in my square. Now we have 1, 2, 3 different ways we're going to practice tracing our square. So we have this dashed line square, this dotted line square, and we have another dotted line square, but this one has the dots a little bit farther apart. And that's going to be because right here, we're gonna have to draw it kind of on our own, only using the corners to help us. So I'm gonna follow the dashed line, drawing right on top of it with my marker. I always say if you wanna turn your paper to help you trace, you can. All right, so I colored it in. Now I practiced tracing my first square, and I want to try my second one. This time I'm going to try not to move my paper. Okay, and then one more. So I have 3 times to practice before I have to draw it on my own. And remember, you don't have to use markers if you don't want to. You can use a pencil if you feel like that might be easier for you. That way you can erase if you make a mistake. All right, so I've colored and then I've traced my shape 3 times. Now I'm going to draw my shape. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to draw my straight line down to my first dot right there, my second line over from the dot that was right here to right here, then up, and then over, like that. I'm just gonna fix that. All right, so I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, and if after you're done tracing these, you wanna try coloring them in, go for it. But this is our practice for this week, so we're coloring in, and right down here, tracing, 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 drawing, right? So I'll let you do your rectangle, triangle, circle, and oval independently. On this worksheet, we're going to trace and we're going to draw our shapes. So very similar to what we just did, except we're not going to have as many times to trace our shape. So I'm going to do, let's do the square since we did the square on the other table, or on the other worksheet too. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trace my dashed line to draw my square. or to trace my square. Now I'm going to draw my own square. See where it says trace underneath the square I just traced? Then right here it says you draw. So that means you're going to draw your own square right above it, like that. And you'll do that for all of your other squares on this paper. The star is a little tricky, so just do the best you can on that one, and sometimes our hearts can be a little bit tricky too. So just try your best on that one. Remember, friends, this is just practice, and we want to have fun with it. All right, friends, so that's it for our worksheets for this week. I am so excited to hear how you guys did on this, and I will see you next time. Bye.